Oh, Virgo, hello, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or your rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And Destiny, the star card. Wonderful, wonderful card. Love this card, especially for you, Virgo, because I feel like lately you've been on this path of really discovering your nature, your future, your destiny, your fate, your path, right? The star card is a twofold process. The first process, of course, is asking the question, who am I? Right? And the second, of course, is where am I going, right? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And I feel that you are getting a lot of assistance from Spirit answering those questions. I think you know who you are. I think you know where you're going. It's just a matter now of moving in that direction. It's almost as if the future's already written for you. You know what you're going to achieve. It's just now taking the steps, moving your feet from here to there. Okay? I think you're somebody who has had a lifetime of spiritual experience. I feel like you're somebody who has done a lot of past life work. I feel like you sort of even do I don't know why, but I feel like future life work, you know? You have a strong connection with Spirit. I feel that the spiritual force is very strong in you. I feel like you're tapped in, you know? You've probably had a lot of sort of mystical, magical, or even supernatural experiences from when you were a kid. I think they've continued right up to the present day, and I think it's the angels and spirits, entities have become sort of commonplace in your life, you know? Really connected. You're kind of you're tapped in to that whole world, you know? And I think it really helps you. I think that in times of need, in times of struggle, in times of pain and trauma, I feel that you have felt a presence in your life that's been there for you, okay? I feel like it's something that you're truly relying on, is your spiritual nature, your spiritual connection, your connection with that spiritual world, okay? I think that your spiritual practice, whatever it might be, I think has really helped you to untie a lot of those knots. See, the first phase of the star card is, who are you? Right? Well, to discover that, we've got to see what's going on within our souls. We have to let the light in. And once you let the light in, it shows you where your buttons are, shows you where your karmic knots are, shows you where your sort of weak spots are, shows you what you need to work on. Okay? And I think that you've gone through this. I think you've been doing this work for a long time, and you've made a lot of progress. I think people come to you for your insight. And you may be even a practicing psychic or medium or channel or something like that in your own life. And people ask you those questions that it kind of feels like only you can really answer for them. I mean, they can answer it for themselves, I guess, but they ask you because they know that you have a certain ability to see things in a way that they don't. Okay? Now, we're going to put this into some context so we can see things in a different way. And we'll see what's going on with this star energy. Oh, my goodness. The sun, too. Wow. Emperor energy. Princess of Cups. Very nice. Four of Swords. I like it. I like the Four of Swords. Four of Swords to me always feels like a good listener. You know, it feels like somebody who's really, somebody who's willing to listen and not sort of jumping to judgments, not jumping to conclusions, not making any assumptions, not blindly believing in anything either, right? It's just kind of saying, I'm going to take in all the information. I'm going to stay sort of rational. It's like you're a psychic, but you're also a skeptic, you know? And I think it's a perfect combination because you don't, you want to be able to differentiate between the BS and the real, like, spiritual wisdom. And I think that's why people trust you, because they know that you don't just buy into everything that you know kind of comes through. That you can authenticate it. You listen to what's being said, but you also listen to what's not being said. You read between the lines in your life, and I think that's a wonderful quality, especially for somebody with your gifts and talents, so to speak. We've got the Fool card here. We've got now a Prince of Cups, a Seven of Wands, and 8 of Pentacles. Very, very nice. A little bit of earth energy at the end. I think this is a tremendous time in your life. I think that this is, you know, to me, the Eight of Pentacles sort of feels like where you're. It has a certain feeling to it. To me, it kind of feels like evening, right? You look at this card, you think, well, maybe it's morning, maybe it's evening. I feel like it's evening. I feel like it's kind of a cool spring day. There's a little bit of a breeze, right? The birds are out, and I feel like this is just kind of you walking peacefully out in nature, just kind of like away from it all in a way. It's very tranquil, it's very calming, and it's very slow paced. It's kind of like, and maybe you're just sort of walking around your own land. Maybe you are acquiring an acreage or buying an acreage, or that's your idea of a good life, right? Slow, maybe you're feeding the chickens. Maybe you're just kind of, you're just walking around your yard, you know, looking at a couple flowers. Maybe you'll pull a couple of weeds out over here, or you'll help a little frog back into the pond or something, you know. It's just very peaceful, very connected, and I feel like it's kind of an empress energy, you know, but in a very, like, it feels very real to me. And so I wonder if there's a connection with nature, with the natural world, a connection with land or agriculture, or if you have some kind of an acreage, or if that's sort of your goal in life is to just move away from it all into a really kind of tranquil little place. I don't think it's a huge acreage. Maybe it's a little farm. Maybe it's just a little plot of land. That's yours. A little house. It's perfect. Right? It's perfect. It's a much slower pace than I think what you're used to. And I think that's probably your goal. And especially when the Seven of Wands is here, it's like we don't want to fight. We don't want to wrestle with life anymore. I don't want to be part of the rat race. You want to be here, 8 of Pentacles. That's a big win. I think this is the biggest win of your life. This is the achievement of that life. And sometimes, you know, we get 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Sometimes we get the Wheel of Fortune and all this extravagance and fortune and fame. And I think that you're... I was going to say simple. You're more simple than that, right? I think you have different aspirations. I think the 8 of Pentacles is your really big win, right? Spirit's saying that you do have a connection with plants or agriculture, growing something. I don't know if it's plant medicine, if it is just vegetables, a garden or something like that, but you've got a green thumb, is what I'm hearing, okay? So I feel like that is really your paradise. That is success for you. That is the big win that you're looking for. We're going to select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put our octopus friend right on top. If you want to help me name the octopus, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think we should call it. If you have a prediction for that card, let me know in the comments. Let's exercise our intuition. All right, I think it's a good idea. I think it'll be fun. Let's look around the room. we've got your 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana energies. And to me, very different, right? Especially with the Emperor and the Fool. The Emperor and the Fool, very different energies. Discipline, structure, authority, all business all day, right? The Fool is sort of frolicking through this little wooded area, this grove maybe on the edge of your property or whatever. The Fool is just sort of is much more free and open. Doesn't need a structure, doesn't need a plan, doesn't need a purpose. It just wants to live and exist and enjoy things. I want to watch the tadpoles grow into frogs, And I think there's something with frogs with you. A big contrast between the Emperor and the Fool. Now, there's a reason we have both of these. And I think it has to do with the star and the sun, because the sun is a star, right? I don't know if you knew that, right? But it is. I'm joking. It is, though. And I think that what we're talking about here is when your aspiration is, you have your sights set on something, right, in life. You have the ability to fire up the engines and go get it. So the Emperor is traveling through time and space to achieve that goal, that aspiration. See, the star is sort of your goal. It feels way out there. It's a star. Stars aren't very close together, right? They're far away from us. So this is like your aspiration, your goal. It still feels way out there. I know what I want. I know where I'm supposed to go, but it's still out of reach. Okay? But then we get the sun, and the sun is like a star that's like right here in your face. It's like up close and personal. So I feel that this is far away, and now it's not so far away anymore. That you've made a lot of progress. You're right here. You can just reach out and take it. So I feel that while you are still far away from your goal, you have a lot of this Emperor energy. Because your engines, you're on full thrusters, right? You're going for it. You're going after your goal. You have ambition. When I say that your big win in life is that 8 of Pentacles, I don't mean that's just your nature. 8 of Pentacles, kind of slow. You're just kind of moseying everywhere you go. No, because you really have the ability to fire it up when you have an aspiration, when you have a dream, when you've got a goal, even if it's one way out there. That one's mine, and I'm going after it. And then you're full-on Emperor. Stay away. Everybody stay out of Virgo's way when they're in Emperor mode. Okay? But then once you achieve that goal, once you get here, and there it is, you can see, now it's yours. You've succeeded. Now you're transitioning into this Fool energy. A little bit more carefree. You don't have to be Emperor anymore. You don't have to be that sort of ruthless business person anymore. We're transitioning. We're going from city, right, to country. Yeah. And I think that your priorities are shifting because, this is your sort of aspiration, your goal. You're going after it. And I think once you achieve that, then you sort of have a different thing. Then you're sort of about something else. Having this success, and the Emperor is the means to getting that, but this is just to get this. You see what I mean? It's kind of like you have to pay your dues in the city. You have to work really hard and you have to fight for what you want. You've got to be serious and disciplined in all business in order to get that sort of country life that you really want, right? So the Emperor is just the means to this end. All right? And then when you get to this particular energy, we can open up, we can relax, we can chill, we can have fun, we can go a little bit fool with it, We don't have any fire except for this, but the Emperor is that fire. It is that ambition. It is that rocket booster to the star. And once you get there, well, we don't need the rocket booster anymore. Now we're just sort of free floating, We're just 0G enjoying where we've ended up. Okay, so I think you're very close to really achieving this kind of win, this kind of satisfaction. Okay, it's coming. You're almost here. We've got a few things that we got to talk about, but this is really, really This is extraordinary. We've got a little bit of fire, what we don't want anymore. What we have a lot of now is water, water, water. Okay? I think your priorities are changing. I think your aspiration, your love, your desire, your will and want and purpose in life is changing. Right? Well, of course it is, because this is what you wanted. Once you get this, then it's like, okay, that was something that I needed to acquire in order to get, in order to have the life that I really want. And so to me, it feels like a really perfect sort of transition, that you're able to pursue what really is meaningful to you and live the life that truly is magical and beautiful and wonderful and full of love and full of just wonder and awe. And I think to me, it feels really, really good. Okay. So we got a lot of that water energy. We've got the air energy, which is nice. It is balanced. Okay. And it shows that you are, you're keeping a level head on your shoulders, that we're not getting so carried away with this earthly power, right? That even when we've reached our star, that we just stay in that emperor, and we're sort of lost, because we get consumed by this emperor power, and it's hard for the fool to kind of break away from that. The fool, your pure sort of spirit and essence, of who you really are. Right now you're wearing the mask of the emperor because you're going after an ambitious goal. Once you get to that goal, you've got to take the mask off and let your spirit out. Okay? If you didn't have the Four of Swords, I think we might get sort of stuck in the emperor mask. We get carried away by all that power and that, the allure of it. But you've got that very nice Four of Swords. And this is your sort of your rational mind. You're understanding that, hey, this emperor energy is temporary. It's a means to an end. Once I achieve what I set out to achieve, I have to take this mask off. I have to put that emperor energy down. That's not who you are. It's a part of you. You can invoke that, right? And so anyway, I like the Four of Swords that we have. I like the water energy very much too, especially the Princess of Cups, because one, it does show that you've sort of had a lot of dreams ever since you were a kid. You've had a lot of aspirations. You've had an intense imagination. You've had a really intense dream life. I think you know yourself so well. And I think you know that you need a little bit of balance in your life in order to not get carried away with the emperor. You know that it's difficult to sort of take the mask off. So you've kind of set something up in your life that'll help you to remember. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you got Post-it notes around the house or something that just say, hey, remember to take the mask off, so you don't forget. You tie the string around your finger or something, But I feel like you've had a very colorful childhood. I feel that you probably traveled a lot when you were a kid. I think that you had a lot of intense dreams. And I think that you were like, forgive the expression, you're kind of a weird kid, right? Because I think you communicated with things, with energy, with life, You saw things that nobody else really saw. And you had conversations with intelligences that nobody else could communicate with, And so it kind of maybe ostracized you a little bit from other people. And I think that you had to sort of put on the emperor mask in order to sort of fit into the world that you found yourself in. The Rosicrucian sort of wears the robes of the country people, And so I think that it really kind of, it worked for you. It helps you not to conceal this, not that there's anything wrong with that we're trying to hide it, but you put on the clothes and the garb and the mask of the emperor in order to sort of penetrate into the world, right? Maybe it's the business world. I don't know, whatever you've been doing, whatever you're working on, whatever your goals have been or your work has been, you sort of adapted in that way where you could really be assertive and have authority and be, I think, well respected. And so it's not really about hiding who you really are, but it's maybe presenting it in a way that is easy for other people to sort of accept or to understand. Okay? And I think maybe that's what you sort of have an issue doing, and I can see that being the case, especially with the type of court cards, the water cards we have. Nobody wants to have to sort of present their true self in a certain way, right? That maybe feels a little inauthentic. What we have here in the position of the environment or your relationship with the environment is your struggle to be authentic, to show the world who you really are, to be your true self. Okay? And that's here when the Fool gets here. This is what we're doing, right? There's no compromising over here. Okay? There's no sacrificing of who you really are here. Over here, I think that the Emperor kind of had to sort of protect that Princess of Cups a little bit. You had to, again, it seems like you kind of had to dress it up in a way that was a little bit more digestible, by other people. It's kind of like when you have a kid and you want them to eat something, you just put a little bit of ketchup on it and they'll be fine, And so it's not something that we wish to do. It's not something it would be nice if we didn't have to. But I think there's a level of conformity that we all have to partake in. We all have to play along a little bit, I think, to achieve the kind of success that will help us to live the life we really want. I hope that makes sense to you. Anyway, let's talk about the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is you really finding that life. And it's kind of like this was all worth it. All the sacrificing, all the times that you've had to sort of ignore the spirits in the room, and just say, no, I don't see anything over there, and we see that motif expressed in a lot of movies and literature and film and stuff, where it's just there is somebody that can perceive all of these things, but it's just kind of like we sort of have to pretend we don't, And I think it's all worth it, because I think it's allowing you to connect with the kind of life that it's almost like you're getting through this period of time, you've made this money, this success, these accomplishments, and you say, yes, I've done it, it was all worth it, and now I can just be free. Now I can live my life. Now I can be who I am. And it's really, it's when you have a particular career, you sort of have to adapt your energy and your personality to fit into the career. You can still be yourself to a degree, right? But there's a particular conformity that's asked of everybody if they're going to be in the career game, But I think this is you, this is your love, this is your purpose, right? It's not to be in that career thing. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to sort of let your true self out, let your Holy Spirit just dance and frolic through the grove, And as we get to the path of the serpent, we see exactly that. We see somebody now who's sort of done with the business world, who is following their true love, their true passion, their true purpose, and their sense of identity, and their sense of love, really, and spirituality, and freedom, and pursuing those things that really matter to you, and not compromising, and not hiding yourself away. Not trying to mask your imagination or your creativity, or mask your connection with the spirit world, or mask your weirdness. We're embracing our weird, As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, and it doesn't cost anything. In fact, it helps out the channel, and I really, really do appreciate that. We need to support all of our favorite tarot readers here on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, your general energy is the Fool. That is your true self. That is your true self. That is not colored or covered or masked by anything. It is the true essence of who you are in all your weirdness, in all your self-expressive ways, you know? I think that this is kind of you, like wearing the clothes you want to wear and living the life that you want to live and dancing the way you want to dance. It's kind of like you're, what is that song? You're making your own kind of music here, right? And nobody else has to listen. Nobody else has to sing along. Nobody else has to care. It's for you. You've done it, and you, I think, have you've succeeded. And this, to me, is the big win. This is the success, that you've finished whatever this phase of your life was, and you've gotten out of it, not only with I think the financial means to build the life that you want, or to take your life where you want to go and live, you know. But you've come out of that with your soul intact. That maybe you've had to play the game, but now you can separate. You've taken that emperor mask and you don't even need that anymore. You are free, you are pure, and you're not harmed in any way from that experience, right? The spirit is untouched by that. And I think you're very thankful to be the hell out of there. What we see now in the position of the environment is a refusal for you to be anything other than authentically you. We have the Prince of Cups, that stubborn self-expression, right? This is kind of like, I don't know, you're the person now that'll go to the holiday parties, just kind of wearing whatever colorful outfit you want, you know, like you've got all the silly hats and all the whatever it is. And maybe it's not so loud and colorful. Maybe it is more reserved and quiet and calm, but it's your own expression. It's you. It's who you want to present yourself as. It's you living authentically. It's you not compromising in sort of in any aspect, not just in the physical, presentation, but not compromising your beliefs. And I think you still have your Four of Swords. You're still very, very honest and very open, very level-headed, still very rational. I think that you understand that your authenticity, your beliefs and values, your personality might be the absolute truth for you, but it doesn't necessarily, come across to everybody else. Not everybody has to like it. Right? Not everybody has to agree with you. And holding on to our feelings, holding on to our beliefs and our values is a very, very good and powerful thing. It's an expression of who we are. It's it's the details of who we are, right? But I think you are intelligent enough and open enough and spiritual enough to know that sometimes your beliefs and values will change over time. But they're changing because you sort of are you're flowing with the information. It's not that there's any sort of change forced upon you, because you're not having that either. You're not just letting somebody else mold who you are, nor are you so stubborn in who you are that you're refusing to change at all, right? So there's a fluidity in here. Okay, there's this constant sort of evolution and this sort of growth, this outward, an outward becoming, or an outward generation of who we are. Even in this fixed water energy, we think fixed water, what, like an ice cube? No, not an ice cube. You're fixed in this authentic expression, and you're fixed in this authentic evolution and growth and flow of your own spirit. Okay? And so this is the card that strives for authenticity and honesty. And I think in the position of your relationships, you're a very honest person. And there's no compromising that. I think you're sort of honest. You are authentically yourself all the time. And some people are going to take offense. Some people aren't going to like it. Some people aren't going to agree with your choices. But no one can fault you for being yourself, right? And it doesn't mean that you're inconsiderate to people. It doesn't mean that you are that you're mean to people, or that you're so stubborn that you believe what you believe and you're not open to any new information. No, because there's a fluidity, there's an adaptability, there's a flexibility in this. But it's not a compromise. Okay? This is authentically your spirit, and what you don't want to do is fight anymore. If people don't like me, that's okay. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to prove anything. You've made it through the rat race. It's time for you to enjoy the fruit of your labor and be free. And the fool is free now to pick the fruit from the tree. And the Seven of Wands is the card you don't want anymore. And this is the fight. This is like, the Seven of Wands is kind of the valor that says, this is the hill that I'm going to die on. You say, you can have your hill. You can have your battle, your game, your war, your fight. I don't need it. You've got what is essential to you. And with the Two of Cups, this is maybe family, maybe romance. This is your pets, your plants, your people. This is what you care about. You don't care about fighting for all this other nonsense. You already did. It's like you served your time. You served this system, and now you're done with the Seven of Wands. And so that kind of goes the way of the Emperor too. I don't need it anymore. You're here to now enjoy what comes after that. It's like you've paid your dues here. Okay? And now you can enjoy the fruits of your labor and see, that's the purpose. And I think the purpose is really the connection that you have with not only your pets, your plants, your people, but with the world around you, with your environment, with yourself. And this is a real connection here. And I think you have this ability, even because you are, I think, a very unique person, that even in these conversations you have with individuals, they can't help but see some aspect of themselves reflected in you, or I don't know. There's some kind of a magic happens when you get people one-on-one. And I think that's why people come to you for their questions, and people come to you for these answers, because you know things that people don't know. It's like you're able to really show people what they need to see. One-on-one kind of thing. Like I don't know what it is. And people feel a real connection with you. And I think you do with them. With all the talk that we've had today, it's not that you don't like people. No, you love people. You love people. You accept people for how they are, for who they are. You value authenticity, even when it's different than yours, And if somebody else doesn't value authenticity, then they don't really need to come around, You're not trying to convince anybody. You're not trying to fight. So it's simple, The people that want to be around you, they're welcome and loved and cherished. And they're welcome to enjoy the fruit as well, But you're not doing this stuff. You're not doing this anymore. And to me, this is the most beautiful win of them all. To have this sort of life. And I don't know if maybe this is kind of going into retirement. Maybe this is literally you moving somewhere, moving away from the city and, live in country, Maybe it is really just a shift in attitude. It could be. It could be nothing else in your life is changing except for the perspective. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card, though. Let's see. I don't know what to expect with this. I'm thinking more water energy. We've got a lot of water. Maybe we need a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a prediction for this. If you do, and I hope you do, put it down in the comments. What is this for you? Is this the ultimate goal? Is this a shift in perspective, right? What are we going to get here? Hanged Man, maybe? Or Wheel of Fortune? Let's see. The Page of Cups. We've got, it comes full circle, goes right back to this. It's kind of like it's like, like I said, when you were a kid, you kind of had to you sort of had to conceal kind of who you were, right, a little bit. that we say, no, I don't see any spirits in the room, We sort of had to play it straight, I feel like you're returning to that essential part of yourself. And so really this whole thing's coming full circle. And I think that's so neat. You're becoming sort of that innocent, authentic spirit, that we sort of see in kids. And kids, I think, are, at least from 0 to, 5 or 10 or whatever, they're so authentic that they don't really have much of a filter in that sort of age range, And maybe that's not true, maybe, I don't know. I feel like we're getting back to something that is real. As dreamy and as otherworldly and as mystical, magical, as spiritual as these cards are, it feels more real. It feels more authentic. Maybe it's an inner child kind of thing. Maybe this is just getting back to that authenticity and that purity of your spirit. To me, this is the best reading ever. We're going to do an extended, though, too. And if you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Virgo, Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.